This is Otis Anderson Sr. Police in Jacksonville, Florida said a family argument ended in gunfire. Investigators said his son was shot and his wife was wounded. By the next morning, Anderson Sr. had been booked in Duval County on murder and attempted murder charges. The first interview matters because detectives do not begin by arguing the case. They let him build the sequence himself. His version starts with the dog bite, then moves to the gate, the gun, the alleged charge, and the first aid. That sequence is what they are going to test.
Pacing back and forth, just praying,
Yes, sir. Can you tell me a little bit about what happened today? Or you start wherever you think it's important to start.
Well, it all happened fast. First, his dog, he was dog sitting his girlfriend dog. And I came home, the dog, he was messing with stuff. So I went to get him and put him in a cage and he bit me. So, I picked him up, and I put him out, agitated about it, and so I, he had a few words, intervened, and then, he popped off at me. I'm like, hey, boy, you ain't gonna hurt me. Now, you don't do that, and it happened so fast. I intervened, and he went around, he come around, I walked over.
Detective starts with source control. She asks where the story begins, and his answer starts with the dog. That matters because his first cause becomes the frame he has to defend later. From this point on, every question can be measured against one issue. Can a dog bite explain the escalation that follows?
It's
I know it's a lot for me to just come in here and be like, sir, can you tell me what happened tonight? So as slow and detailed as we have to go, I guess tell me a little bit about...
All his laughter. He went to college, and then he went to college, and he was gone. And
before we continue, I want to thank today's sponsor, Hidden Clues. If you're the kind of person who watches a case and tries to solve it before the truth is revealed, this game is made for you. Hidden Clues is a detective mystery game where you investigate fictional cases, search detailed crime scenes, collect evidence, and rebuild the timeline piece by piece. But it's not just a random hidden object game. Every clue has a purpose, a receipt, a phone timestamp, a key card log, a voicemail note, one small detail that can break an alibi. As you play, you compare suspect statements against the evidence, decide what actually matters, and try to prove what happened before making your final deduction. The first case is free, so you can try it without paying. Download Hidden Clues using the link in the description and see if you can solve the case. Thanks again to Hidden Clues for sponsoring today's video. Now, let's get back to the case.
Okay. And what happened, like his girl, you said it's his girlfriend's dog. How long has the dog been at the house?
the dog been there a couple of days.
And does the girlfriend live there or only stay, spends the night sometimes?
Occasionally.
Okay.
She's out of town,
Okay. So you're trying to get the dog in the cage, he bites you.
Yeah.
And I get it. I would smack the dog too because it's a jerk action to do that. Son got upset that you smacked the dog?
Yeah, he got upset because I smacked the dog and I put him outside, so he got upset, and...
Can you tell me a little bit about, I know you said, what was he saying to you that made you upset?
Like I said, it happened so fast, just him being, a young man, he I can't recall all the exact words, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But, it happened so fast, and he, I call it blowing up. He got aggressive.
This is timeline locking. It also narrows the motive into one short chain. He gives a clean emotional sequence: the bite, the discipline, the disrespect, and then the aggression. The weakness is the transition. He can describe the atmosphere, but the exact words and actions stay vague.
He comes through and through the kitchen area. There's a little gate that he come in, so,
What's going on at that moment?
he charged me.
Okay, and what happens then when he charges you?
I tell him to stop, and
Is he actually in the kitchen or on the other side of that baby gate thing?
he's coming over. He's already past the gate. He's
In the kitchen?
He's well beyond that.
Okay. If you don't know something, I get it. So what happens then? Just
You know, howling up, so we go outside, he's down, I start rendering first aid, you know, I had a mat, so I, try to hold compressions on him, told her to call 911, and start talking to him, and I turned him to the side because I heard he was, having trouble breathing, so I opened his airway with my finger, and turned him to the side so he can breathe, and held compressions on him until first aid got there.
okay.
First responders got there. I stayed there the whole time. I mean, they actually, when they got there, they took over and then they cuffed me. But I was to that point, cause I didn't. I love him all my heart, all my heart. So, for me to be sitting here, this is like I'm pinching myself, hoping that this ain't true. I'm like,
Now the self-defense frame is on the table. The important part is not just that he says his son charged, it is where the gun enters the timeline. If he leaves the confrontation and gets a firearm, the sequence changes. Detectives can test whether that sounds like immediate defense or escalation.
I understand. I saw that there was like the bath towels and stuff are out there. So I understand you were trying to help him, okay? When he charged at you, were you guys exchanging words?
yes, of course.
What was being said? Do you remember?
I don't recall the word, but it wasn't. Let's say it wasn't like, "Hello, how you doing?"
No, exactly. I get that.
So it was a confrontational word exchange. The exact words I can't recall what was being said, but the intent was not I'm finna shake your hand type situation. So
Do you remember what happens if wife comes in? Do you remember what happens between?
no. She was like, "What you just did?" I'm like, and she was like, "Where did he go?" I'm like, "I don't know." Because he jumped over the gate and he ran and because there's another gate. There's a small gate in the kitchen, then there's a little white gate.
The detective is not wandering. She is separating the physical pieces. Who was near the gate? Where was the wife? What words were said? When was the gun already present? Those pieces matter. One broad claim of fear has to explain two wounded people, not only one confrontation.
What did you do? There's not a confrontation with your wife at that point?
No, that I recall. Obviously, she's upset. That's. So, like, what do you do? What do you do? And she probably was hitting on me. I didn't put my hands on her, but I know she probably did. Where did he go? Where did he go? I'm like, I was doing what I could do to try, keep first aid to him as much as I could do.
Okay, so Jackson, I'm not gonna. She's fine. I can tell you that. I did have an opportunity to see her.
Yeah, like.
Oh my God, what did you do? So that would indicate she's not in the way. That would indicate she wasn't quite there.
But like I said, I don't recall her being.
I'm sorry.
So you shot.
Yes, sir. Twice. At least it appears to be twice. I'm not no ballistics expert, but the way the wounds are, it does appear to be at least twice. She's fine. She's talking.
This is the collateral victim problem. A self-defense explanation can be narrow when it is only about the person allegedly charging. Once the wife is inside the account, the same explanation has to cover another wound. It also has to cover a second position in the room.
So you don't recall any confrontation after was shot between you?
No, everything happened, and we went outside. She was like, "What?" And
Did you? And I think you said this already. I just want to make sure. And did you try to call 911 at all, or call a neighbor or anything? Did you go to a neighbor's house?
Ministering first aid. So.
Okay. And what's your phone number, sir?
904-307-3175.
and you're also trying to administer. And did you ever go to a neighbor's house at all?
No, my neighbors come over. They heard the commotion, so they already was in the yard.
Which neighbor? If you're looking at your house, did he help administrate or anything?
I just told them that, to call 911, and which they had already been done. I'm like, there's anything we do. I'm like, just, stay calm, because they was panicking too. I'm like, just stay calm, call 911. That's what I said to them. So
Post-event conduct becomes evidence pressure here. Detectives are not only asking who called 911, they are testing what he believed happened after the shots. If there was no later confrontation with his wife, the account narrows. Everything has to fit inside one short burst of chaos.
And a little bit about like your relationship. How's your relationship in general? I don't mean necessarily tonight. I mean like abuse.
Abuse? No.
Verbal, physical. I know bickering arguments of like loved ones, but
yeah, we've had our moments, but it's not I that will stay in a situation where abuse.
I respect that. I get it. They have a good relationship?
Yeah.
Okay. What
about I love him.
Oh no, there's no doubt. I don't think. I'm just talking about like kind of like. Did you guys get along? Did you guys bicker?
No.
And I mean, like, is there physical abuse, verbal abuse?
No. I wouldn't nothing I wouldn't do for this. Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
Have you guys ever had any physical altercations in the past?
No.
So tonight was the first night that things went to head?
First time. I've never, he's never, talked back or looked at me wrong. So when he did that, I'm like, I was kind of like taking it. I'm like, what? Because he wasn't raised that way. And I know he's a young man now, but I can't explain it.
What exactly did he say that made you so upset, though? Do you remember? Like, was there a specific phrase, or did he disrespect you, or like?
It obviously was disrespect, but as far as the word, ma'am, I can't. Everything's in a fog right now, but it was, it was disappointing, to just say the least, for him, to take that tone and, to the point where he wants to, get physical.
And when you say get physical, like what do you mean? If you could explain it to me.
Fight.
So he wanted to get in a fist fight, essentially?
Yeah.
Okay.
Relationship questions are not filler. They test whether this was a sudden trigger or an argument with deeper history. If he says there was no violence, the dog dispute has to carry almost all of the explanation. If he gives a history, detectives get a different motive path to examine.
Are you flipping the recliner, is my understanding? Do you remember doing that?
I may have flipped it. You say I flipped it?
Well, I wasn't there.
Yeah.
So I can't say you did anything.
Yeah.
Do you remember getting upset and flipping it when you were angry?
I don't recall that.
Okay.
No, I don't.
And what?
The recliner detail is a quiet evidence reveal. The detective does not accuse him of lying. She introduces a physical point and asks whether he remembers. Memory uncertainty is less flexible after he has already committed to the main sequence.
You say he charges you. What is he? Can you explain that?
He jumped.
Even if you want to describe it for me.
He jumped over the gate. Maybe I'm talking too much right now, but he jumps over the gate and it may sound like it's a big distance, but it's not.
No, I've been in there. It's not that big.
When the detective returns to the gate, she is checking repeatability. A self-protective version often repeats the headline but loses precision on a second pass. His line about maybe talking too much is important. He understands the risk. Every added detail becomes something detectives can compare to the scene.
Is there so angry tonight? I know you snapped this dog and put him outside, but is that really what made him so angry?
Well,
it's a dog.
Well, part of it, like I said, his frustration. he got, and he, you know, obviously he's a very talented young man. And, you know, he felt some sort of way about it because if less talented guys able to keep the job, and you know, so he kind of felt some sort of way about it. And then his granddaddy just passed.
Okay. When was that? I'm sorry to hear that, by the way.
Yeah, that kind of like this. He just kind of like, you know, just been, you know, just in a slum since that, you know, so was everyone else. But his passion for football, you know, stuff like that, he just, you know, just, I can't explain it, but I know that got something to do with his, you know, his demeanor and his, you know, just.
Well, I know you said tonight was the first night he actually, like, you guys ever had a moment like this. So,
Yeah.
is it, I mean, was it just the dog, or was there more words exchanged leading up to this?
There was some words about that dog, but you know, but like I said, he had never been disrespectful towards me or any adult that I'm aware of, let alone me. I mean,
Okay.
so
Is there anything you can think of right this minute?
I just can't. For him, I know a major part of it is the fact that, you know, his grandfather, you know, passed, and it was around the same time that he got released from the team. So.
This is story expansion under pressure. The dog is no longer doing enough work. The explanation widens into grief, football, frustration, and disrespect. Some of that may be emotionally true, but as an interview answer, it moves from a specific trigger to a cloud of causes. That gives detectives more doors to open.
Hi, sir. Sorry, my other partner got tied up. So this is my other partner, Detective McIntosh. Sorry. It took a little bit. We were trying to get an official update, and unfortunately, sir, there's really no easy way for me to say this, but he did not survive his injuries tonight. Thank you. I know right now you don't want me sitting in front of you, so I'm going to give you some privacy, okay?
This is why detectives waited. Before they deliver the update, they let him choose the starting point. They let him describe the gun sequence. They let him explain the wife and expand the motive. After the death notification, he is reacting to consequences. Before it, he is building the version detectives can test.
Mr. Otis, this is Detective Sellers. I'm here to tell you are being charged with murder and attempted murder on. He's here to photograph your hands, your clothing, your shorts. Then we're going to ask you to change into jail uniform, and he's going to take your clothing. And that's what's going on, all right? He's just going to give you some directions. Just follow up.
All right, sir. Just like you said.
After this interview, prosecutors charged the father with murder and attempted murder. The case later ended with a plea to manslaughter and attempted manslaughter. He received a prison sentence. State records later listed him in the Florida prison system, with a release date in 2033. The interview matters because detectives let him choose the starting point. Then they tested whether his sequence could carry the weight of what happened.